think more than advice, if I was to draw 2, 3 anecdotes from what I saw, I think the best of leaders first gave people their time. I think it was important to make sure that even though the outcome might be the same, I think the way you get there can be different. So if you need a week off in between, take it, right? So I think there was one around just allowing people to take their time. I think the second, and maybe slightly counterintuitively, is it was more inclusive. Because you were able to get people together easier. I think Radhika mentioned the digital connection. But whether it was getting people from across time zones or across even different parts of India together on a call, it became easier. So I thought the discussion was more inclusive, the dialogue was more inclusive, and therefore leaders were able to drive a little bit more through consensus than earlier, where I think established forms of communication and hierarchy were kind of there. And I think the third thing was what I'd mentioned earlier, which is it required sharp prioritization to cut out everything that was not necessary. I think it was hard to justify a trivial activity, and therefore what you were doing was almost definitely the most essential. And therefore it was easier to spin a story, not spin a story, but tell a story of purpose about the activities that we are doing, and release the activities that we took a new lens to and said were actually not that important.
No, so I think COVID wave 2 was extraordinarily difficult. I remember a phase and I'm from Delhi, which went through a very rough time. But I remember a phase in late April and early May. Whenever my HR would call me, I almost always knew it was bad news, that someone in the family or someone was affected. I think there are two learnings. One is that, someone very wise told me that life's equation has constants and variables. And, you can't change constants. Pi is pi. And I think that was the constant message to the team. But what you can work on is variables. The second thing is that, we do a learning series for our team, and we started this digitally last year, where we call CEOs from different industries, and it's just to give these guys perspective. Like we called someone from Taj Hotels last year, because we were like, you guys work in finance, you have no idea of the challenges of running a hotel business. So in May, we saw that people were struggling with mental health, and they weren't talking about it. So we called a mental health professional, and we didn't force anyone to come. We got the maximum turnout and engagement when we had a mental health professional, and we had CIO level people in the organization talking about how they were struggling with dealing with their kids, and we had people in branches in Patna and Nagpur. And it was an incredible discussion. So we're also committed to now having more open conversations on mental health, and that was very eye-opening for me.
I think in these times, we had to celebrate people's discharges also. What used to happen is there was some of our colleagues who were very critical. In fact, we lost very close colleagues of ours, and the organization is rallying around trying to get things. At the same time, we had positivity. We had positivity of some people getting well. They were coming back home, and we used to also communicate this to the to our employees and saying, hey, these guys are now better. It's not as bad, and I think we can overcome this together. As such. On the other hand, I think we had to be in touch with the families of those affected, because they were under severe stress. Many of them were all in hospitals, and we had to still take care of their loved ones at home, because the full family may have been admitted for the same reasons. So I think it was, but what we realized, and the biggest mantra is, no amount of communication is more in this time. So you can do a Teams call, a Zoom call, almost every day. You can speak to your teams, you can discuss with them. And it all works. So we just increase the level of communication within the company, sharing this, and also the real factor for that employee that, hey, there is some set of, I will not be alone in this fight. If tomorrow I am infected, there is a set of team members who will rally, who will try their best. Of course, they may not be successful, but at the same time, that was, I think, a very big emotional support to the full family. And it's not only us, frankly, we are hardly 1,000 member organization in Pune, but we have some 4,000-5,000 people working in our dealerships across India. So we extended this to them. They helped us. Some of our colleagues were in Delhi, for example, because they were working from from home from Delhi, and they wanted some stuff, so they came in, they pitched in, and I think even post now, the first thing we did once we, once we were coming out is to vaccinate not only the employees but contractors, dealer staff, their families, and I can be proud to say we are almost 100% vaccinated. The dealer staff is 90% vaccinated. So that's the stakeholder management, I think, as a learning for us.